course that we're talking about is called Nicaragua in Change, and it's part of the Integrative Studies program.
And it was really great because it was open to all students, but I hadn't really heard about it. It's mainly, sociology students. But Carleigh came back to my apartment one day and she was like, "You're not going to believe where this trip is going." So I was really excited. I hadn't been abroad and this sounded like a great idea. So
yeah, the beauty of this trip is that it fits anyone's schedule. It's an integrative class, so really it can go into anyone's schedule, which is the nice part.
This semester, we went to Nicaragua to visit a cooperative that we've had a relationship with for a number of years. And we communicate with them to find out what we will do when we're together. And this year they were interested in, they already have a school, they already have a church, they have a community center, a youth center. They just got electricity in 2007. And what they needed was a place for very young children to develop. And so the project that we worked on was working together to purchase some paints, to design what this would look like, and to spend a day. It was a short project.
And where we spent some time in Managua, which is the capital, Rio Blanco, which is it's like roughly the size of Keene, New Hampshire. So we traveled 5 hours from Managua into the central Nicaragua. And then we spent one night in Granada, which is kind of a really touristy area.
So it was an opportunity for us and the students to really step outside of our culture and live in the life of somebody from another part of the world and see something from another set of eyes, from another dimension.
Yeah, I think it kind of opened my eyes. Again, I've lived in Keene the majority of my life. Yes, I've traveled different parts in the United States, but until you travel out of the country and really get a different feel of how fortunate the United States is and how much we have compared to other places. So yeah, it was definitely an eye-opening. It made me appreciate what I have, but also made me want to give back to people who have less and are less fortunate than we.
I definitely feel more of a responsibility to engage other people on campus, and talk with them about what I saw. Before, somebody would come back from a trip abroad and, you'd look at their pictures and you'd hear the stories, but you can't really relate to it until you've done it yourself. And then once you come back, you just have so much knowledge that you just want to just share with everybody. And I think that's what really changed me, is just, being more of a citizen of the world rather than just a citizen of Keene, New Hampshire or the United States.
Skye Stevenson, our Global Education Office Director, said a lovely phrase to me recently. She said, we can bring Keene to the world and we can bring the world to Keene. And I think programs like this, and there are many of them now on campus, they do exactly that.
The short stay trips, the ones that are a week or two, offer an opportunity to a much wider population to do something, whether it's travel to another country or another part of this country that's distant to them. That can have the same kind of cultural impact, particularly if they grew up in an area and they've never really traveled far from it, or if they have traveled, they've traveled as a tourist staying in resort hotels. They haven't seen the country. If they get out there and they're living in someone's home and they're doing work in the community, they get a chance to experience life somewhere else. It makes them just that much larger.
I guess you learn, it sounds a little cheesy, but you learn a lot about yourself when you just are thrown into a situation where you don't know the language. I know a few people on the trip had some Spanish in their background, but I took French in high school, so it's the communication definitely was difficult. But then once you get past that and you realize that you really don't need to use words to communicate, that's when you really start just opening yourself up and just kind of, you're along for the ride. You're just immersing yourself in their culture, and it's just amazing.
So I think that the word of mouth on trips like these are that they're incredibly positive, that they're something that is truly experiential, that they help students to learn more than they think they can in the classroom, although I think learning by reading is fine too. But it's one more added dimension to the education that they're receiving here at Keene State.